I'd like to start out by thanking EPA, specifically EPA Region 5 and the Criminal Investigative Unit, who have come out here with their staff, their expertise, their ground sensing equipment to help us out in this investigation, not because they had to, but because of our long-standing working relationship. It's been a great one on lots of different projects. We really appreciate their help. Without their expertise, we couldn't do this next step in this investigation. They're out here today to look, in essence, under the ground. We're going to have someone from the EPA, Francisco Arcude, who will explain that more to you. But I just want to emphasize that. I also want to emphasize that Mount Baldy's been closed exactly 1 month now. A lot of folks ask, when's it going to reopen? We truly don't know. Our number one goal out here is to make sure the visitor is safe. And we're not going to reopen Mount Baldy until we understand the science of what's going on underneath it, so we can determine if we need to mitigate it, if we need to route visitors through certain areas so they're safe. But we want to make sure all our visitors are safe out here at Mount Baldy and Indiana Dunes National Lakeshore.
EPA Region 5 Chicago is supporting the National Park Service. This is a very unique situation, and we are assisting them with a ground penetration radar unit, which you see back there. It is a $30,000 unit that essentially, think of it as like an ultrasound, but focusing down underground. It can go as deep as 30 feet, and it produces a series of images. We're going to look at those images. We'll be here as long as we're needed. If there's anything abnormal or unique or just different, we will continue to observe the data. But our data is here to support the NPS so that these type of incidents don't happen again. And the EPA will be here as long as it's needed, and what the device back there is doing is essentially doing radar samplings underground. It travels in straight lines. That's the young lady with the thing on top, like Space Gizmo, is actually a very specialized GPS unit. So when she walks in a straight line, yeah, literally, we are following the straight and narrow. And our equipment follows in a straight line, and we do coordinates, we do mapping that way to make sure we know what's underground. So then that data will be analyzed, we'll look at it, and so I can't give you any exact dates. If there's anything odd, abnormal, we will continue to do samplings until we determine what, if anything, is here.
The place that we're actually on here is where we had some of the heavy equipment that did the rescue actually drive on this area. So we know that this is a safe area. If there had been any holes, they certainly would have been collapsed by that equipment. We've also had some of our staff out here doing a on-the-ground survey, looking for weak spots or soft spots in the dune. We know that this is one of the areas that there isn't an issue, but we certainly don't want the public walking all over the dune at this point because we haven't investigated it all. At this point, because Mount Baldy is the fastest moving dune, we know there's trees under it. This is the only spot that's closed, the only spot that we're investigating. If we learn that there could be potential dangers in other areas, then we'll certainly look at those as well. Until this had happened, we had never heard of such an instance, but after all the publicity from the initial accident, we did hear from 2 people. One who had been in Mount Baldy years ago, had stepped in a hole up to about his knee, had never thought anything about it, hadn't reported it. And then somebody in southwest Michigan on a private dune had seen a hole that sounds like it was somewhat similar to this a couple years ago, but they didn't think anything of it. In terms of searching the scientific literature, we found nothing like this. It's new developing science.